What up, guys? Coach Jimmy here with Tech Talk today with Coach Bam Bam. Guys, today's show is brought to you by Bearden Chiropractic Care. So if you're having trouble within your joints or soreness or like tingleness in your hands and your feet, go see him. They'll get you straightened out. It's the only man in town that can straighten a preacher out. It's Bearden Chiropractic Care. Stephen Wade Grantham, Mr. Wade. I don't know what his whole name is. It's Dr. Grantham. That's who he is. Guys, go check him out for all your chiropractic needs. He keeps everyone here at Tech Center straight. He literally is like our team doctor. And, man, he's helped me so much. He's helped me with bulging disc. He's helped me with the annular tear in my lower back. He's helped me with knee pain. Almost 3 years there, I was having problems with my hands going to sleep when I was driving and just certain movements. Shocking pain running from my neck to my hands that I just dealt with from years of doing construction and MMA. He got rid of it. It took him about a month to completely get rid of the pain from my neck to my hands. It's good stuff. And that's Bearden Chiropractic Care right here in Eastman, Georgia. Guys, I'll go ahead and tell you the honest to God truth. I thought it was pseudoscience. And then I went and had it done. And within a month, pains that I've had for years was gone. And I'm not, like, it blew my mind at how well it really worked. So I send everybody over there as soon as they start getting that. I call it the jiu-jitsu backache, like that pressure in between their shoulder blades that starts radiating into your neck.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, as soon as it starts,
yeah,
that's what I'd send them, like, go see him, and he fixes it.
Oh, yeah, I swear by it. I never thought it was a pseudoscience. I just took it for what it was. Some people love it, some people hate it. I had never tried it, but mine started with my neck. I've always had, like, a bad neck, and I just went and tried it one day, and I've been going ever since. I have to go once every couple of weeks.
That's how mine started. Mine started with my neck, and that's actually how I met my future wife, Taylor. I went in there, and I was telling him, like, yeah, dude, all the benefits of kickboxing, like hand-eye coordination and things. He fixed my neck, and I asked him to marry Taylor, so she works there in the office.
Yeah, just that quickly.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I saw her up front. Like, can I marry her?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to make her my wife. But, guys, go check it out. He's a huge supporter of our gym. He sends people over here to learn. Like, it helps with everything. But most importantly, hand-eye coordination and stuff like that, like the kickboxing and stuff like that. And we send everybody that's super sore or, like, they just got twisted the wrong way. Good example, today, my knee's been hurting me for about 4 days. Couldn't figure out why I was having knee in the inside of my pain. And I went and seen him, and something was misaligned from my ankle to my hip. Like, there was, like, something there. He, like, pulled on my foot and then pulled at the back of my knee, rolled me over my belly, hit me with that little gun on the back of my knee. I stood up, and now my knee feels like muscle soreness. It's not painful. It's not like the grindy, nasty feeling that it was.
Yeah.
And that was today.
If my elbow still bothering me next Wednesday, I'm definitely going to throw that in to my appointment. Like, hey, by the way, check out my elbow.
Yeah, and he will. He's such a good dude. So he's the sponsor of our show, guys. So check out Bearden Chiropractic. It's right here in Eastman, and it's amazing. So this one, we're going to try to keep it short and sweet again. This will be uploaded again tonight. We still owe you guys 2 episodes from last season, but we started the new season now. It's every Thursday. You guys can catch us. We upload these things at like 11 p.m. every Thursday. Our kids competed Saturday.
Yep.
Where was that?
It was New Breed Savannah.
Savannah. Say, I forget that quick. Taylor just points and tells me where to be, and I'm like, I'm here. She handles so much of that stuff. It really is awesome. Like, guys, if you don't have a Taylor, go get you one. It's amazing.
It's just that easy. Just go get one.
Yeah, just go get a Taylor. Not mine, though. Mine's too important to me. But go get you a Taylor if you have trouble with doing those things, because she is amazing. But she just pointed and said, go. And I said, yes, ma'am. We showed up. The kids showed out. How'd it work out? How do you feel about it? And then I'll talk about how I feel about it.
I mean, I think it went great. I mean, a couple small things here or there, but as a whole, I mean, as a team, they all took first and second. I believe we had one third place. We only had 6 kids compete, and we were in the top 10 on youth teams with only 6 kids.
Out of how many?
I didn't look. Usually at these, there's minimum 40 to 50 teams. Minimum.
All right. I was going to say, if there's only like 10 teams, that's not real good.
No. I quit looking. Every time it's usually minimum there's 40 or 50 teams.
Yeah. I think there was 43 teams.
See, and we finished, I think, 8th or 9th with only 6 kids.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because we didn't, for the majority of the ones I coached, didn't they go to the decision? They went for the finish.
Yeah, one of the refs called me out. We had my kid. He was down, so beginning of the match, not fight. I don't know why I said fight. Beginning of the match, he was going for a takedown. Kid sprawled, turned him, ended up on top.
Our kid.
Yeah, our kid was not on top. Our kid was on bottom.
He was the one that shot and got sprawled on.
Yes.
Okay.
He was on bottom. And the other kid, passed his guard. Now they're up 6 points. And it was 6-0. And I was looking at the timer, and I was looking at, our kid, and I was telling him, hey, you have to get a kill here. You have to get the kill or you lost. And I was like, we need you to move, dude. You're quitting you have, this short time means you've lost. No, you got to go. Kid hits a hard little oopa, gets the sweep, got the sweep, got the pass, got the mount. In mount, there's 12 or 13 seconds left. Our kid is now up by 3 points. So now it's 9-6. And I'm like, the hug choke is there. Let's go for that hug choke. He's trying to hold on. The other kid's trying to sweep. I was like, go for the hug choke. Go for the hug choke. Hug choke him. Go for it. I was like, and the people behind us was going, you won, just hold position, you won. And I'm like, dude, hug choke him. And the match was over, and the person sitting next to me was like, that was really cool. And then the ref was like, well, they already won, they're kids, let them. And I was like, no. I would rather my kid going for the win and lose going for the win than I would them to stall somebody out and trying to just win based off of the points. Even though the points is the game, I want them to try to get the finish. But he scored 9 points with 23 seconds left and was still going for a hug choke at the end. But he had his first 2 matches, he was just so outclassed. So he needed that last match.
Right.
So anyway, that was my experience for the whole tournament.
That was it? That
was it. My kid got styled on. The one that I was cornering, the first one, he got styled on. And that's something, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just realized I cut you off. That was something that really annoyed me about the tournament, is they have in the system what color belts the kids are now.
Yes.
And this kid registered as a beginner, but in the system he was a gray and black belt in the system, and he had competed 3 years ago and competed a year ago, and then he was competing now.
Shouldn't be a beginner.
Right. They have a record of it, but they still let the kid in the beginner division. And our kid that's only been training for 2.5 months got smoked. And the kid that beat him, he's a gray and black belt in the system, is wearing a white belt with 2 stripes. And one of the dads was like, it says on the thing he's a gray and black belt. And the coach said, oh, he trains with the adults now. So his excuse for putting him in the beginner of the kids bracket was he started training with the adults.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, this is what I was told from the parent. Not, I didn't hear the conversation behind me. Didn't talk to the kid's coach. None of that. The only thing I know to be true is that when you look at Smooth Comp, the kid's been competing at least once a year for 3 years. And he's in a beginner's bracket with kids that been training 3 months or less. Or is it 6 months?
I'm not sure with the kids.
I'm not sure either. It's like 6 months or less, or
I know
3
with
months or
adults,
less.
novice is 6 months or less, and the beginner's like 6 months to 2 years, year and a half, something like that.
Gotcha. Well, either way,
So
6 months.
yeah,
You competed 3 years ago, bro, and then you competed 2 years ago, and then you competed a year. Like you competed this year.
When you train with adults, there's not a reset button.
Yeah. And and then the parent was trying to. This is where, for me, I told the parents like, "No, don't give the kid an excuse. Don't give our kid an excuse. He lost. Let's figure out. Let's go back to the drawing board. Figure out what he needs to do to get better." They were trying to. I have like indigestion real bad. If you guys wondering why I'm turning my head outside,
Tone's in my locker.
dude, I should have grabbed some. But they were like not knocking the parents because these parents are amazing. They listen to me. They're super coachable parents. I think the parents need to be as coachable as the kids. And in this instance, I was like, no, we're not giving him an excuse. He lost. We're not going to let him lean on that. But in my heart, I wanted to be like, y'all are right. But I don't want my kid to start looking around for reasons that he lost, other than he didn't work hard enough or he didn't know something that he needed to know. But this kid styled on everybody. Yeah. Like there was 4 other people in the division.
He did that to everyone.
And he did the same exact sequence of moves to all of them. And when that move didn't work, his follow-up move did. And it was like, it was nice. It was really nice. He could have won an advanced division easily. But instead of letting the kid be in an advanced division and get challenged, they wanted to boost his ego and build him up off of destroying other kids' confidence that were just getting started out. And I have a huge problem with that. Yeah. And I witnessed it again, which we've complained about this on the podcast before.
You see this multiple times at every tournament. I mean, and don't really know a way to fix it.
I don't, and that's the problem is I don't know how to combat it. I think the Smooth Comp thing's a good idea, but if no one's enforcing it,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, you're trying on a bigger level with the kids tournaments with Strange Matter. Like that one, it don't matter your experience. Like you want to sign up. This is the weight. This is the age. Like sign up. Like it's up to you. You want to test yourself. You know, there's none of that bureaucracy. With it.
Oh, let's put this kid that's been training for 3 years and competing once a year every year against somebody who's been training for 6 months, and let's show him how much more he's learned. I get the mindset of thinking that that's a good thing for your kid, but what about the kid that he's styling on? You know,
right?
And that's where I stand. Again, you're always gonna have sandbagging, so I just told my kids, like to their face, I was like, no, you know, right here's where you could have done something a little different. Here's where you didn't have enough skill, or this is what you should have done. In this instant, all he had to do is run out the dogfight, you know? Yeah. And it would have done him good. Like, he could have been competitive, whatever, however you want to say it. I'm not disappointed with him. It was good. He was extremely competitive in all of his other matches. that one, the kid outclassed him, all the way. And it plays out that way sometimes.
It does.
So,
Yeah,
what did you feel and see and think?
Well, I was about to say, like, I got to coach or watch all the kids at least one match. Because, like I said, we had 6 kids competing, but usually a couple of them ran at the same time. But I know one, he got him a belt. He won an advanced kids division. Really proud of him. And the way he won it, too. He hit a dead orchard.
Oh, dude. His coach yelled out, "It's just a high guard."
And I'm in the other coaching chair. I didn't scream it or yell out loud or anything. If they thought it was a high guard, let them think that. In my head, I'm like, oh, no. Like, like, you let it, okay, it's a high guard, sure. Let him sink it in. Like, it's locked in. Like, you're in some deep crap right now.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Letting him get that far. And I told him, like, he got there, and I think it surprised him he was able to get there in this competition. So then he wasn't sure where to go. Like, they were kind of, like, they fell over because the person he had dead orchard on didn't really have a good base. They were toting his weight. And I'm like, dude, you got the sweep or the arm bar. Which one do you want? And he's like, oh, the arm's there. And that was the end of it. But like, he was surprised. Like, dead orchard, like, now what do I do? I'm in, like, because he's done it here a lot of times. It was just the atmosphere and stuff. Like, I actually got here. And so I told him, sweep or arm bar, take one. He took the arm bar.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice. And that got him the belt.
Yeah, he was very proud of that belt.
He should be.
I was messing with him, and I was like, yeah, that's the belt we're competing for on Fridays.
I told him.
And he was like, nuh-uh, this is going on my wall.
His little brother come up like, no, it's my belt.
He's like, it's going on the wall at my house. And I was like, you ain't going to put it on the wall at the gym? Nope. Hey, I sure ain't.
He did get, he had a match show where he didn't really get schooled on. He was just, so it was in gi. And they were both going to play a guard game. And the other kid got there first. And he was just behind the whole time. Like, the kid just played his game. And our kid couldn't match him. Wasn't bad. I was coaching him. He did everything I asked, tried everything. He just could not create space, couldn't pass the guard. The other kid in the gi was just controlling the match.
And it happens that way.
It does. I mean, nothing to hold. I told him, like, hey, you did great. He's like, I know, it happens. Like, good attitude.
That's so awesome.
And we had another kid, great attitude. He had the worst out of everyone. He was just he's at a weird experience, rank, and age. His size, waiting for that growth spurt. And just in his division, he was the smallest one.
Has he been back this week?
This week, yes. He has. He came Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
He's only been one day, but he did come back immediately.
Good.
And I even talked to him before his last match, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, nothing to hold your head about. He's like, I know. Like, I want to do this, but I wasn't sure. I'm like, try it. Like, hey, we talk, nothing to hang your head about. You see your opponents. You know where you stand. What are you going to lose? Let's try it. I'm in your corner. Let's do this. And he went and he tried it. Didn't work out, but he left it all on the table.
Yeah, that's awesome. Was there anything that, like, upset you or anything that...
Nothing major like what you saw. Mine was with the refs. It was inconsistencies. I think they need better training. I get it, small things I understand. Like risk discretion, like one of them has a quick count for points, the other one doesn't. You know what? That's fine. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is you treat the same move 2 different ways. One way it's points, one way it's not points.
Explain.
So the one that hit dead orchard, in 2 different matches, he hit a triangle, and his game, he loves rolling to mount a triangle. That's what he does. He loves rolling to mount triangle and finishing from there. Nothing wrong with that. He's good at it. He did it in 2 different matches. One match, gave him sweep points. I think it's a sweep. You sweep them. They're in your guard. You lock up triangle. You use triangle to sweep. You're on top now. Still threatening submission, but it's still a sweep. 2 points for sweep. Went to his other match, and he did the mount triangle twice. No points either time. And I asked the ref after, like, hey, I'm confused.
Did he win the match?
He won the match still. It didn't cost him the match, but it made it a lot closer than what it should have been. Because he wasn't able to finish a submission. He threatened a submission basically the whole time. But because that was the whole time, there wasn't a lot of points scored, so he wasn't up a lot of points. Like, it could have easily, the other kid could have escaped, swept, got on top, and took the lead. So it was very close when he should have had like 4 more points than what he did.
So you think he should get points?
I did. And I asked the ref. And the ref says, well, he's threatening a submission. I'm not giving him sweet points unless he loses it. I understand that argument. I just don't agree with it. And I said, well, just so you know, another ref gave him sweet points. So y'all are not on the same page. If y'all don't want to give points for the sweep, that's fine. None of y'all should get points for the sweep. Just all be on the same page. That's my thing. I can
Everybody should run the tournament the same way.
Yeah, I can take it or leave it about the points. I feel like that's not the argument, like, should he get points or not. I honestly don't care if he should or not. It's the rule. Does he or does he not? Treat it that way across the board.
Yeah, and that's understandable. For me, here's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
He was attacking a submission.
Mm-hmm.
If he loses the submission, does he stay on top? If he stays on top, he should get his points. But as long as he's attacking to finish a submission, it's not the same as being on top. It's not the same to me.
Okay.
So,
and I can see that argument.
That would be the argument that, like, if it was in here, I would be like, hey, he hasn't settled yet. Like, yeah, he could submit you, but it's not a settle yet. Because that guy could just, like, mount a triangle especially, you got some strong guys there with their core. They can just walk their belly forward and, like, turn them over. Now you're on your back. You're still in a triangle. You haven't settled. You don't have your 3 points of control. And you're not. Another thing is, you're supposed to hold it for 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. Your position of control. Well, if all I have is your head, do I have control? Like a head and your arm. That's like regular Kesa or regular like Case Katami.
Okay, so Case Katami, would you get points for that?
See, and that's the thing. Where is their other arm, and how much of their head? Is the elbow on the ground, or is the elbow in the lap? Like, that stuff matters.
Like the arm in a triangle?
Yeah, like the Kesa, like, you know how you have the head and the arm is up? If their elbow is on the mat, I wouldn't give it points. Because they technically can just take your back. That's not a position of control.
Right.
But if the elbow is in your lap and you got it pinched off and their elbow, they can't create space with their elbow, that's points. This is your body, the head, and the arm. That's your 3 points. It sounds weird saying it out loud now that I'm thinking about it, but it's true. Because if their elbow is on the mat, you don't have control of that person. You're just hanging onto their head. They should be able to take your back.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people don't want to push through the little bit of pain that they got to get to the back. It's a pain. It's like a weird feeling, but it's not like it's going to hurt you. You understand what I'm talking about?
I've been in that position many a time, and as long as my elbow is in, I'm good. Like, it's uncomfortable, but I'm good. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, but they don't have control.
Right. But
they just don't. You
I didn't disagree. Like, how do I say? I don't disagree with your argument, but I don't agree with you. Like, I would give the sweet points with the mounted triangle.
Okay.
But, like I said, it's not a hill I'm dying on.
And well, here's another thing. Did he sweep, then lock up the triangle? No. Or did he lock up the triangle and end up on top with the triangle? Because that's a submission attempt.
So, he locked it up.
And then rolled him over.
And he initiated the rollover. It wasn't the dude defending and he just went with him. He locked it up and said, okay, I'm doing this on top now. And he rolled him over.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I can see either argument. I can see either side of it. It's not right or wrong.
It's not a hill on the down. I just want it consistent.
Yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not right or wrong.
Yeah.
But, and I think that there's hardly ever a right and wrong in jiu-jitsu. Like, yeah. I truly feel that way, that people constantly, like, well, that's the wrong way to do it. No, it's not. Did it work? Yes. All right. Then it was the right way at the right time. right? That's how I feel. But in that instance, I feel like that's a submission attempt.
I got you. Going back to what you said, like, that's the wrong way to do it. Like, no. The argument that we always hear, well, it was more of a neck crank. I don't give a shit.
Did you tap?
Yeah.
He said, how do you sleep at night knowing you crank their neck?
Fine.
Fine. What Boogie say?
What?
He was like, in my bed, snuggled up with the fan on.
Exactly.
Like, just fine. At night with the fan on. Because it's true. It's one of those things. It's like, oh, you needed to move your elbow in. Like, fool, were you tapping? All right, I won.
You didn't have to tap.
You didn't have to tap. If it was wrong, you don't tap. And if something breaks or snaps or, or you go to sleep, then maybe it wasn't wrong. Maybe it was very effective in what I intended, which was violence.
Hey, the perfect choke has a little bit of a neck crank in it.
Yeah. I think that there's, what was said, 1 inch from a good choke, like just a choke, to a full-blown neck crank. It's 1 inch. That's about how much of a difference there is. And they both work just fine. Crank or a choke. Or you could crank choke them or choke crank them. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like, as long as they're tapping, as long as their hands doing this motion, I'm okay. All jokes aside, though, is like, yeah, he swept him, but it was still in the middle of an attack.
Yeah.
And if he lets go, my argument would be, if he lets go of the submission, would he still be on top? If he's still on top, then that is a sweep. But if he's not in control on top, then it's not a sweep. He's not in control. And I would say the same thing as passing, though. There's a lot of times, like when I ref before, I had coaches yelling at me going, hey, that's a pass, that's a pass. I'm like, no, his knee's still in. It's not a pass. He's not in control yet. He hasn't settled. You have to settle. People go to Queso, but then the person's elbow is on the person's hip in the mat. It's like, that's not Queso. It's not. The elbow has to be in the lap.
Right.
And if the elbow's on the mat, it's like, no, he's just one small movement from just taking your kid's back. He's not in control. He don't deserve his pass points. He didn't settle.
Right.
And I'm a firm believer in that, because the same coaches that are yelling about giving kids points for like those types of passes and stuff are the same ones that would be yelling about not giving mount points because they didn't get their hooks in, even though your kid will have a super high mount, completely full-blown mounted. Oh, he's not Superman and he didn't get his hooks in. Same coaches that yell about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, is my kid on top of your kid? Is your kid getting up? No. My kid is on top holding your kid down. They can throw hooks in. They can throw a mounted triangle if they want to. Like, those are the same coaches, though. Yeah. Oh, his foot's over his heel. His foot's over his heel? That's your argument? Not to give him the points? Dude, that's far gone.
Yeah.
Far gone. Like, you are, like, grasping at straws about these points, about not giving points away. And you know what? Refs don't give points if you're just stepping over that foot. They don't give them points. Like, and I was like, all right, well, if you're not going to give them points because their foot is over and they haven't settled, you can't give them points for Queso. You can't give them points for, your triangle that's not technically a holding position. I think it is a holding position, but it's not. It's a triangle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he could just do forward rolls holding the man's head. It's a triangle, top or bottom, right? So anyway, but I agree with you. They need to have consistent rules.
Yes.
It's a long rant for that, but I agree.
I'll tell you something that was funny to me. When he was, it wasn't his championship match. It was like the match before in the advanced kids division. His dad was on the other side of the mat. Like, I was coaching, but it was a corner corner mat. So his dad was on the other side just watching right there in the bullpen. And had the mount at triangle again. Like, his go-to move. He hit it a few times. This was the match, actually, I think he got points for it. But anyway, he's sitting there and he couldn't finish it. And I was trying to tell him, like, sit back, like, towards the chest and then cut the angle. Like, you have this. It's there. I said, if you don't, take the arm. He's sticking his arm up. Take the arm bar. His dad's like, you're in advance. You can pull on the head. He looked up like, he just grabbed the kid's hand and started pulling up on it. He didn't finish. He won that one by points. The kid lasted like 2 to 3 minutes in a mount triangle and never tapped.
Well, Troy was talking to me about that tonight, about how I finish. It's like sit on the chest
And then slide
and
off.
turn.
After that match, because I knew it was his game and I saw him not understanding me, we went to the side of the gymnasium and I used his dad. This is what I'm telling you to do.
Nice.
Right here. And in that next match where he didn't get points, he kept trying to finish it like that. And the kid kept, like, just moving.
Shrugging,
scooting.
sliding, scooting.
Yeah. But he was trying. Like, he implemented it, just couldn't finish.
Gotcha. So the tournament went well. We had kids place first, second. You said one of them placed third.
Yes.
That's awesome. What do you think that as a whole, like watching our kids compete and stuff, like what do you think they need to work on? What was you happy about? What was you upset? Well, not upset, but what do you think you needed to work on? Like where are the areas that you feel like you could improve? All that stuff.
So each kid is different.
I agree.
They're all different. I know one very good jiu-jitsu. Like, I was anxious to watch her compete. I knew she had it in her. But until it was her first competition, so I knew nerves. But she did very well, but she just let them dictate it, like where it took place. So instead of, like, fighting to maintain her position, if they want to stand up, like, okay, let's just stand up then. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like if she would have forced him, like, no, we're going to do my game. Like, just a little bit of aggression, the match would have turned out differently. But everything else did very well overall, moved, was throwing up triangle, was her game, like seeing her use it now. I taught it about getting a home base, a triangle home base. She got there a few times in the competition, so I was happy.
That's awesome.
Another one, he's a wrestler, and there was one match he won just takedowns, couldn't pass the legs, so he let him stand back up, he'd take him down again. And I didn't, but I know one of our team did. Like, told him, like, you can't do that. You're lucky they didn't get you for stalling. And, like, the parents didn't understand either. And so it was explained to them. I'm not saying any of the kids' names, but I think it was actually Taylor that explained to them.
Yeah.
Like, you do that, like, you're not doing jiu-jitsu. Like,
it's winning within the rule set.
it is. It is.
But that's demoralizing to take someone down and cut them loose.
Times.
Take
he
someone
won
down.
8-0. He was never able to pass their guard.
So he just cut them loose.
So once he realized, like, point of no return, like, I can't get past, like, oh, fine, let's stand back up, take you back down. Same takedown every time.
He was trying to pass with the takedown and couldn't.
Yes, but he also tried to pass open guard, hands on the knees, like doing everything right. I think this was gi too, so he was grabbing the gi pants, hands on the knees, trying to steer. They were grabbing his sleeves, steering him, and when he felt like he didn't have the control, he disengaged. I'm not mad about that. It's one of them things. Like, I understand. Like, if it was my kid getting stalled on like that, I'd be like, they're not wanting to do jiu-jitsu with you. They're scared of your jiu-jitsu. They just want to stand up. Let's tie him up on the ground. And now it's my kid doing that. I'm like, man, look, come on, you can pass the guard. I know you can. Let's do it. Let's get this. And then playing in the rule set, the kid finally got him in his guard, and it was like the last 30 seconds. I'm like, just get heavy. Just stay there. I'm like, you're good. This is your match. Stay heavy. You ain't got to worry about passing. Don't get caught. The kid ended up getting a sweep, and he won 8-2. So I wasn't mad. It was just, like, frustrating, kind of.
Yeah. Makes sense. I coached 2 different kids. and had 2 different outcomes. The kids listened to me part of the time. It was like I was calling for stuff. One just laid flat in the beginning. He got taken down, got mounted, and he just laid flat.
Is that the same one I coached too one time? He did that one match with me. Now in gi, he showed out. I think he got gold in gi.
He did. But dude, we had one kid just kept throwing leg locks, and I kept going, and I was cornering.
He's the one that laid flat with me.
Oh no, it was 2 different kids then.
Yeah.
But I kept going. Hey, we're not allowed to leg lock. Stop that.
So here, I'll put this on record. Gonna put the camera on me.
He got outside Ashi though.
I am
Perfect.
the head kids coach here. I have not taught these kids any leg locks, but I also teach a leg lock class. So I guess they've watched me.
They stay while you're teaching that class. But here's the thing. It was Ashi. It wasn't outside Ashi. It was perfect.
It was beautiful.
Full blown heel exposed.
Like he turned the hip, everything.
He literally, all he had to do was this with his wrist, like flick his wrist, and it'd have been a heel hook. And he'd done it twice.
He did it in my match, so he did it 3 times.
And so the first match he had, he lost by advantage because he was reaping the knee, and the ref like took his leg off and said go instead of just standing him back up. And the kid kind of jumped him out. My kid like circled, and
that's
when
what
he
happened
circled
to me a couple years ago, blue belt. They called me for reaping the knee, and they just repositioned us. They didn't stand us back up.
And I feel like that's wrong. They should stand you back up because when they reposition your leg, it allows them to just jump in the mount.
It does.
And then you got to fight from there, which is what happened. And then they got up. It was 2-2, and the kid had an advantage point for almost getting mount. And that's the reason why he lost that match. But I was like, that's illegal, that's illegal, that's illegal, that's illegal. Like, fast. That's illegal, that's illegal, that's illegal. The second time he did it in his second match, I didn't say anything. Because they kind of just fought through it. He never heel hooked him, but he was there. The ref never said anything. The other kid's coach, the other kid's coach never said anything. So I didn't say anything. I was like, well, if you're going to do it, might as well do it. It's like,
I'll give you a strap in class.
Damn 10th Planet School.
Here
we go.
DQ, but I'll give you a strap.
Yeah. But that's what we're talking about, dude, is like he wasn't wrong. What he was doing was not wrong. It's just wrong for that rule set. And
I told all the kids in class that Monday, listen, there is a time for you to learn this. It is not now. I don't want to see any of you doing this.
Here's the thing. I don't want them not learning it.
Well, as a matter, they would do it.
Yeah. As a head coach, I don't want them not learning it. I want them to learn that that's not the go-to. Like, you need to be able to decide. Like, you should be able to compete at any rule set and change your style for that rule set. And if you're going to be an all-around grappler, you need to be able to change your style for a rule set. Because some tournaments, you just can't heel hook.
That's kind of odd hearing you say that because you've always been adamant, like, these rules suck.
Yeah, they do suck. They suck. But it's just like MMA. Amateur, you're not allowed to throw elbows.
Knees?
You can throw knees.
Just not elbows.
You can't kick a down opponent, which is like most organizations. You can't soccer kick people. Most
even the body.
You can't kick them. You can't. You can kick people in like their thighs and their butt area, but like you can't soccer kick people in their ribs or their head when they're down. Amateur, you can't punch people in the head when they're down. You're not allowed to punch if it's on the ground. Amateur. Like for your first 2 fights, you're not allowed. Once you take somebody down, you're only allowed to hit them in their shoulders or their body.
That's stupid.
You can't hit them in the head.
Well, can you elbow the body?
You can't throw any elbows.
No elbows.
None. You can't even throw elbows in Georgia unless the rules changed within the last 3 years. You can't even throw elbows in Georgia at all unless it's a certain commission. Like pros can't even throw elbows here in Georgia. The UFC said this is our rule set and had to petition Atlanta to allow them to fight and compete under their rule set versus Georgia's rule set. And that's different from state to state. So like advanced amateur, you take off shin guards. So amateur, you wear shin guards. Advanced amateur, you can choose. If me and you agree, if we're fighting, me and my opponent or you and your opponent agree, you can do no shin guards.
But that's the only change.
At advanced amateur. That's the only change at advanced amateur. And you can punch in the head on the ground. And then you go pro, you can do anything you want to do, but no elbows in Georgia. But other places, everything's game. Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want, as long, excuse my language. You can do whatever you want as long as you're not hitting a 12-6 elbow, eye gouging, scratching,
fish
or pulling hair, fish hooking. The basic, like, the rules that everybody can agree on. Not picking people up over your waist to slam them. Like, the rules, the natural rules that everyone agrees on. But I have to be able to go from not being able to elbow to being able to elbow. I have to be able to go from training to throw kicks, like being able to throw kicks from the ground to the body and the thigh, whatever, to use that to pass, to not being able to do that. Some places didn't allow up kicks for a long time. If you were down, you're not allowed to kick, just like they're not allowed to kick. And then that got changed because they're like, well, they're diving down here.
Right.
So, but things changed. Early on, you could do whatever the heck. Even amateurs that weren't getting paid could throw elbows.
Yeah, in the early days before like there were sanctioning bodies and stuff.
But then the boxing commission got involved, and now it's like, no, you can't elbow, you can't.
Yeah, you go back and watch some of the early UFCs and all, like, it's wild.
Dude, you go back and watch amateur fighters that wasn't even UFC. When UFC started blowing up in like 96, 97,
I think it
98.
was 93. 93 was the first show, so it probably started becoming more popular after that.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying like it went around like there was tournaments. Like, we used to compete in these smokers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You would do 2 to 3 matches in your bracket, like Friday and Saturday. You would have 2 matches and then 2 matches, or 3 matches and then 1 match the next day. Like, you would have to go down the bracket, and there would be like 5 to 10 people on each side until you got to the bottom of that thing to fight. And we call those, they weren't smokers back then. They were like tough men or
Iron Man, something like
Iron
that.
Man. Yeah. Like, they were those types of things. And we used to go around and try to win those fucking things. Excuse my language. I'm trying to stop doing that so much, because that's just one of my own things that I've been trying to do better about. But yeah, your job is to like beat up 3 people or 2 people, and then like you're talking about full blown fights too. And it was like 3-minute rounds. Like, the winner at the end of that round advances to the next round, and then so there'll be 1 fight, and then you got to fight again. Yeah, like that's how it used to be, and everything was legal. Like, you could slap, like the gloves and stuff. You could bring your own gloves, like, for real.
No telling if you injected something in there or nothing.
No. They're like, you could just do whatever. Like, there wasn't anybody like sanctioning it. You would have people that was wearing like bag gloves trying to fight, and then you would have people that didn't want to wear grappling gloves that were wearing boxing gloves, and it was just strange. It was really weird, like, watching the scene back then. And then like one I remember distinctly, they had like these, it wasn't UFC gloves, but if you could imagine the UFC gloves without the thumb, it was like, it wasn't even bag gloves. It was like flat gloves that your fingers just stick out of. And it didn't even have a thumb part. It was just like a thing that went here, like that. It was just like a pad that went from here to here.
Is that like Taekwondo gloves or something?
It was like that, and they made everybody wear those stupid things. Like, no thumb. It just like went in between your fingers, and covered this part of your knuckle. That was it. And those stupid things were sweaty and nasty. I remember like asking for some spray, some disinfectant shit to put on them, like wipes. It was wipes. I was like, we got any wipes or anything? Because I didn't want to put them on. Like, I didn't want them things touching me. They were disgusting, and everybody had to wear them. So there was like a pause in between each event because they would like come in there with blood and like whatever, where and then they hand them to the next guy, and I'm like, I don't want them on me, please no. It was just nasty and sweaty and they still do that at events like now, but now you'll have like 6 pair of different sizes. And maybe 2 or 3 people wear them in a night. Not every person.
Yeah. But you don't want to share that with anyone, though.
No, well, I don't want to, but you do.
Yeah.
You still, because now you can't bring your own stuff. Now you have to wear their stuff.
Right.
And it was because people got caught, like...
cheating, like putting stuff...
Yeah.
Like, you could do, like, some type of liquid metal, inject it into your glove, and now it's heavier. You hit someone with that, like, mess them up.
Yeah, well, I don't know if people, like, maybe they probably did, but people would, like, soak their gloves, and it wouldn't make them heavier, but they would soak them, and then, like, it would make the gloves harder. It wouldn't make them heavier.
Soak them in water?
Well, like, I'm not sure the process because I've never done it. Yeah. But people got caught making their gloves harder. Like, literally making the gloves, like, it's supposed to be like, 5-ounce, 4-ounce glove, whatever.
It'd be heavier.
And you don't want them heavier, but they were doing things to make them cut you. Like, to make the material harder and stuff. And they were doing that shit and then, like, clobbering people. And I didn't realize that was a problem until... I heard a guy telling another guy, like, yeah, I love using these gloves because when I use these gloves right here, I cut people up. And I could tell you the person's name that I heard say it right now. I'm not gonna do all that, but and then I was talking to Steven the other day, and he said almost verbatim the same thing.
About the same person.
Well, I don't know if it's the same person or not, but he realized it when someone else was saying it.
Got it.
And I was like, yeah, I had that same experience. And my experience was down in Florida. And old buddy, he was methed out of his mind and just take fight on a whim. And it's like, yeah, I love wearing these gloves. These are the gloves I wear because when I put these on, it's real easy to cut people. I'm like, well, why is it real easy to cut people? Oh, yeah, man, we soaked them and made them harder. They hard as a rock. They formed and molded to my hands perfect. So you molded gloves to your hands perfectly, and they're like hitting people with bricks. Yeah, you're going to wear the damn event people's gloves. You're not hitting me with that. Like I'm not getting cut up because I'm letting you wear rocks on your fingers.
I remember being in elementary school or middle school. And I'll tell you who it is. I ain't going to say it on here. I think he passed away a few years back. But he graduated with my sister. And it was when I might have been in high school by now because I want to say I had started watching Ultimate Fighter and stuff. And my dad was like, yeah, so-and-so, like, he's done that before, like, where they fight so many times a night. And I just didn't pay no attention to it. I mean, I didn't know. I hadn't trained or anything, done anything like that. But then he showed up just to catch up with my dad, and he said, yeah, I did that. I won 3 times my first night. Then he asked me to come back next night to finish it out, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I took enough hits. Like, them 3 fights were good. I'm good. I don't need to go back.
That's awesome.
But one more thing I was going to say. I know we're getting close to the end now.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, I coached another kid that was from a different gym because it was just him and his dad there.
Eli.
Yeah. Dude, he did amazing. He did everything I asked him to. He's very coachable, and he ended up taking first in his division.
That's so awesome. Dude, what I really like is that even the coach, like the coach wasn't there. He messaged us, "Hey, can you do this? Thank you so much for doing that." Like the camaraderie between the kids that do the Strange Matter.
Yes.
And like how everybody just bonded together. Dude, it's so awesome to really even talk about the Strange Matter, because the Strange Matter Invitational is something that's close to my heart, because I started that to kind of fix some of this sandbagging crap.
Right.
I started this to kind of say, hey, do whatever you're good at. And if you're in the same weight, same whatever, this is for the best kids in the world. Like, if you think your kid is the best, come here. I don't want you, the beginners, to come here. I want a place for these kids to think that, or that to try their hand at making a name and building a brand for themselves early on, before they get to adulthood, so that they can start building a path for things that they want to do.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly stand by what we're trying to do, because, hey, age and weight, let's do it. Like, it doesn't matter what your belt color is. You can't accuse anybody of sandbagging, because it's about being the best kid.
Yeah.
If you think you got a tough kid in any weight class, hit us up. We'll match them up with some of the best, and if they win, guess what? We'll invite them back. They have a chance to win again, and it's not any skin off your back if they're winning, because now they're getting some gym money. Right. They're getting some sponsorship money if they win, because that's how that works. But anyway, guys, Strange Matter Invitational is coming up. We're putting the dates together now. Once we get started rolling with this, I haven't decided, but I think we're going to do it every 2.5 months. Just every 2.5 months we're going to throw down. I think that's the way we're going to do it.
Why not just do it once a quarter? That's 4 times a year.
Maybe if you somehow like every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might be the way to play it. But I want to do it enough. I want to do it enough that the kids that want to compete regularly get to compete regularly. And I want to try to keep the weight classes to find the kids that are competitive, so that they can build their own following, so people can start watching these kids and learning who they are, so they know who to look out for when they hit the adult circuit. I want to build like I want to build it just like it's a league, and let all of these kids, I want to get other schools involved and let these kids do tryouts and then make it to the Strange Matter Invitational, but we're starting small. So this whole year is just going to be the Strange Matter Invitational. Hopefully by next year we get other schools involved, and the Strange Matter Invitational will be a part of other people's schools, and we get to bring my mics and stuff to their schools, set up, live stream it like we do here at the school, talk about the kid, talk about the things that they're doing, and help these kids build a following, so people can see what we're doing and see the up and coming competitors for the adult league. And I think that this is the way to go. And I'm trying to fix all the problems with kids that are just shooting and taking a kid down, shooting and taking them down and not really grappling, trying to fix the problems with kids trying to get points and not really do jiu-jitsu. That's the reason why it's sub only. That's the reason it's in the position that it's in, is because I want it to. I want them to be. I don't want kids to worry about the position they're in as much as they are doing their jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times what happens in these other tournaments is people get points and then they try to coast and they just stop grappling. And I want to see the kids getting the kills. I want to see the kids getting the breaks. I want to see the kids doing jiu-jitsu and not worrying about the position. I know it's position over submission, obviously, and usually the kid that's in the better positioning is usually going to win. But that's not always the case. Look at Braden, how he gets most of his kills. He gets taken down. Now he's down. It's 2-0. So now he's down 2-0, and now he has to find the kill. If he don't get the kill, he lost the match. And I don't want to see that happening to these kids just because they're trying to play the game that they know.
Right.
And I want them to be able to practice real jiu-jitsu and do real jiu-jitsu, and I think this is the way to do it. So that's my rant for the night. Guys, again, Tech Center is a sponsor of the show. Strange Matter Invitational, sponsor of the show. Beard and Chiropractic Care for all your chiropractic needs, sponsor of the show.
I'm going to just create my own business. It's made up just so you can say I'm a sponsor of the show.
Well, as soon as he starts sponsoring the show, whatever business he creates, we will sponsor the show with that. And, guys, that's Tech Talk with Coach Bam. Coach Jimmy, we talked about tournaments tonight and the Strange Matter and what we want to see. I meant to talk to you about your up-and-coming tournament. We'll get that next Thursday because it's one more week.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm competing next Saturday. So we can talk about however I'm feeling a couple of days before.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll talk about that next Thursday.
Yep.
And we'll talk about, like, how he's planning on addressing some of the best leg lockers in the entire United States. Talk about his game plans and
like a Spartan.
There you go. And we'll just talk about the things that we're doing, that he's doing with his leg lock program, and what he's been trying to do to get ready and things like that next Thursday. So that's what you guys can come to expect. That's Tech Talk. Peace.